Coming up.
I just want to shake some sense into you kids.
Hello and welcome back to Gen X's Pissed.
Yes.
Yep, welcome back to Angry Gen Xers.
Yes,
Well,
we're the angry, pissed off Gen Xers, and we thought we'd go live early because right now we're pissed off about gaming.
Yes.
I'll tell you one thing that ruined WoW for me though. They came out with the ability to do shifting, which is you if you complete a mission, it changes the way the world works. They were bragging about it and everything, and they started this new section. You go across and you find all these cute little Murloc babies that are being, whipped and fucking carried off by the slavers and everything. So I do everything I can to rescue them. I mean, I push a cooler of them out into the ocean until my character dies so I can complete that mission. I raid where they're having these poor little Murloc babies fight to the death in arenas. I literally took the time to kill every fucking Naga on the map. And nothing can change. It's like, well, I'm supposed to be a hero. I'm 80th level. I'm maxed out. And I can't save these, and you're bragging over the fact that you could do shifting for some shitty fucking Lich King level. Fuck you, man. I'm done. I'm out. And I log back in like 4 years later, and it's the same. I'm supposed to be a hero, and I can't save these cute little Murloc babies because Murlocs are only evil because they have you have a mission where you go down there and the little Murloc baby's like, play, sing, and you scare them and it turns them evil. I'm like, man, fuck this game. And so I quit playing WoW because of that and the min-maxes. Oh, you have to have a gear score of this. You know what? I got your gear score right here. Why don't you start sucking and see when you get it? I'm sick of that. I'm sick of min-maxers. It's like, play City of Heroes and people are like, oh, you can get 0.0025% more hit point damage if you do this specific weird fucking power combination and enhancement combination. It's like, yeah, well, while you were fucking around with that, I finished the goddamn map. Dipshit.
I can't stand the min-maxers and ESO because now they're calling casuals like me. And a casual is somebody who logs on every day, does their dailies, fucks around for a bit, and then goes on with their life.
Oh, you mean people who have lives?
Yeah. So apparently people like me are ruining Elder Scrolls Online now. We're toxic casuals because we are not min-maxing and we are not going for the end game. Like, there's so much fucking content in the game anyway. Like, why should I sit there and be sweaty about it and want to have great fucking armor and do this, that, and the other thing? Yeah, my armor's not great. I don't have the great weapons. But half the fun for me is exploring, coming across random encounters, and just having a good fucking time killing things, okay? And to have people screaming that people like me are ruining the game, man, fuck you. Get a life.
Well, those, I'm going to say it, every fucking MMO has been ruined by the end game grinders.
Yeah.
Every fucking one of them. City of Heroes, WoW, DCU,
Destiny,
Secret World, Champions. They were all ruined by these fuckers who charge through the main thing and get max level and get max gear, and then they do the same 4 dungeons over and over and over. And it's like, what are you doing? Secret World, I can spend 200 hours and not get past that shithole called Egypt and have a lot of fun, do every fucking mission, interact with my buddies, run the dungeons a few times, help my buddies finish their missions, have a great time. But no, I'm supposed to rush to the end game content and get all this fucking super gear so that then the rest of the game is fucking boring and useless. It's like, I hate those people because they come in, they rush to the end, and then they start screeching at the devs, and the devs start catering to them. And instead of giving us end game content or maybe, expanding the early regions somewhat, they just cater to these assholes. And it's like, there's more of us than them. And then, of course, when the casuals like me and Janelle start canceling our subscriptions, they're like, oh, we need to appeal more to the end game content guys. Fuck you. You deserve what happened. You got to remember, when I started playing WoW, WoW had more fucking people playing it than some countries had population. WoW made more money than the GPD, than the gross domestic product of half the nations in the world. And they fucked it up by catering to the end game people. And of course, to their
sorry, go ahead.
and of course, the special little things like, oh, we're gonna change this so he's not really the villain, and oh, we're gonna add this super character that she's actually the one responsible for saving the world over and over and over. No, my character did it. She was nowhere to be found. Well, in canon, she did it. Man, fuck her then.
Dude, okay, Destiny is the perfect example. I was a hardcore Destiny fan. Like, I actually was
I'm
not
sorry.
on that game. Oh.
I'm sorry.
But one reason I got bored is because the people screaming there's not enough end game. It's like, we just got a new fucking dungeon. What do you mean? You literally blaze through it. It's all the stupid fucking Twitch streamers too.
Yes.
They do the 24-hour stream because the devs at Bungie are like, you will get this specific gear that no one else can get if you're the first one to get through the dungeons. So they rampage through the dungeons for 24 hours, figure everything out, do the raids, and then these are the same fuckers that are bitching there's no end game content. Not only that, the same thing that happened with WoW, all of a sudden all the villains have become the allies, and they were misunderstood. Like the Fallen all of a sudden were misunderstood. And then the rhinoceros looking fucking aliens. The only ones that weren't made good guys, definite bad guys, were the Hive. I was like, all of a sudden, like, what the fuck is this? Even the Vex. The Vex they decided weren't villains anymore. They were literally a neutral species. I'm like, no, we were fighting against 4 alien species. We were on the brink of extinction. And now all of a sudden we're allies with 2 of the 4 villains.
Oh, they were secretly good guys all along. Well, there's no evidence for that anywhere in your writing. Well, yeah, they are. We just said they are. It's like, fuck off.
When they said the Fallen were the allies of the humans, like, I can remember when you guys put in the game as canon that Guardians were finding Fallen eating human infants and laughing about it, and I'm supposed to team up with these fuckers?
Yeah.
Oh, no,
Are you kidding?
That was just them trying to make sure everyone thought they were evil.
Yeah.
Oh, not only this, you had to rescue their infants. So it was fine that they ate, the human infants, but I have to rescue their babies. And everybody's like, oh, look at the cute little Fallen babies. And they changed their name from the Fallen to their actual alien name, which was the Elixini. I'm like, what the fuck? I just, between the min-maxers, the screeching about endgame content before anybody had even been able to hit the endgame content that had just come out, and the changing of canon to fit the whole bad guys aren't bad guys, they're just misunderstood, I walked. I couldn't anymore.
I don't understand why anyone thinks that is innovative in 2023.
No, it's not. No. It was boring in the 70s.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And it's getting worse. And I mean, like D&D. I don't play D&D 5e. I won't touch it with a 10-foot pole. I don't like several of the designers. I was part of the initial design, when they were bringing people in to be initial designers. I was part of it, and NDA covers some of what I did. But I walked off and told them, you can keep what I worked on, but don't put my name anywhere on it, and don't contact me ever again, and go fuck yourself. Everybody's like, oh, it's the truest thing to D&D since first edition. No, it's not.
Yeah, suck a cock.
It's like, no, it's not. It's like then Pathfinder 2e came out, and I got it because, I helped a little bit with that, NDA again. And what I got was completely different from what I worked on before I walked. And yeah, I walked, so, I got no fucking right to bitch. But it's like, the first thing, like Paizo did this thing that fucking pissed me off so badly. They removed slavery completely from the setting.
Because
there never has been
slavery.
Yeah, there never has been, and there never will be slavery. And it's like, slavers were the one group that you could just gutter stomp and not feel bad. There's no misunderstanding. You're selling literal people. You don't get the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, there is no, well, maybe they're good slavers. No.
They're the misunderstood slavers.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, actually, they were saving everybody by buying and selling them. It's
Yeah.
Go fuck yourself. Yeah. And they retcon the drow. I think they're retconning the drow completely out of existence.
What?
Are you kidding me?
No, I know they're retconning the drow hard.
They
They're
were
retconning.
scary matriarch. They were hot, scary villains.
Well, they were like, why does every time the matriarch come along, why do they have to be evil? It's like, well, because
ever
their
seen a
god is
matriarchy?
evil.
Do you want an honest answer to that question?
Because nobody hates women more than women. That's why. But no, and they were like, oh, why do they have to be sexualized? And I've said this before. Drow matrons wear almost nothing because they are showing you that they don't need all that stupid shit because you're too weak and pathetic to do anything. And they've gone even so far as to shave their pubic hair because you can't hurt them even without their pubic hair. I mean, behold my nude body. There's nothing you could do about it. And back in first edition and second edition, well, she was right. She's going to fucking rip your party's guts out. I mean, they're like, oh, it's all sexual. It's sexy, not scary. And it's like, the last thing you wanted to see was a naked drow matron with a big shit-eating grin because you're just fucked.
Yeah.
I mean,
I got another one. What's wrong with sexy?
yeah, what's wrong with sexy?
Yeah,
What is
can you
wrong
give me
with
a
sexy?
reason why it's wrong? I
And
mean,
all of it
we're
is
just supposed to take it on fact that when they say it's wrong, somehow we have to agree with them
Yeah.
never fucking actually explaining themselves. Oh, well, why is sexy so horrible?
Well, because this is what I've heard. It gives girls bad body images. It's sexualization of the female body. It's just done for male gaze, unrealistic body proportions. But all of that is your feelings are hurt, so I have to pay the penalty.
No, all that is you feel shitty about yourself, so I have to suffer.
It's like, look, I'm sorry you look like a potato on pipe cleaner legs with no breasts, but
Wait.
that's not my problem. And
Hey,
it's
you
not
know
hers
what?
either. It's not hers either. It's especially not hers.
No traditional concept of sexiness ever caused a woman to go cut her tits off and have them surgically replaced to look like a guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I like sexy. I've always liked sexy. I'm a fan of women. I think women are beautiful. I love the way they look. I like muscular women. I like tall women. I like short women. I like slightly chunky plumpers. I like it all. But the way they act now, it's like it's one thing I hate about communism is communism deliberately pushes the ugly as the standard. That way nobody feels bad about themselves because ugly is the standard. And I'm tired of it. It's like, look, I'm ugly, but for fuck's sake. I mean, Jesus Christ, these women aren't even field twos. They're fucking terrible. And it's like, you're putting somebody up whose leg honestly is misshapen. One leg is bigger than the other, and she has rolls hanging down over her knee, and her body is not recognizably human. Her face is round, and she has like 6 chins, and you're like, this is sexy. No, it's not. And oh, she's perfectly healthy. No, she's not. I can hear her skeleton screaming from here. I got nothing wrong. I got nothing against normal fat girls. I mean, some people are fat. Hey, live with it. I get it. But no, Lizzo is not beautiful. Lizzo is just plain nasty.
Oh, Lizzo
Okay.
disgusts me. If you want to hear a rant.
But
Number
I mean,
one.
and then go ahead. I was about to say, then they're pushing it into gaming. They're pushing it into tabletop. They're pushing it into RP. They're pushing it into computer gaming. That's like they heard me bitch about this. Everybody in this chat has heard me bitch about this. Baldur's Gate 3. It would be nice if my female character had some tits. For fuck's sake, where are the fucking boobs again? And then all the fucking magazines are like, oh, it's okay that it's overly sexualized, and the fact that you don't have to put forth any effort to get the NPCs to sleep with you. You can just say hello to them when their pants fall off because it's queer coded, so that makes it okay. No, fuck you. I'd like to have at least some options where I got to prove myself. For fuck's sake, Saints Row 4, which was a fucking joke, had more difficulty to get to the sex scenes than Baldur's Gate. But nobody has any titties because God forbid those fucking fried egg sporting bitches that work in these fucking things feel bad about their droopy, saggy titties, and have actual tits on characters. Fuck you. I'm going to the Nexus.
But don't you want to fuck bears, Walt?
No, I don't.
Baldur's Gate 3 is all about fucking bears.
No, I don't. I don't want to fuck the vampire. Okay, the vampire. I'm a vampire. Give me your blood. No, fuck you. Why don't you die? And I'm just sick of it. I'm fucking tired of it. You know, they obviously took weeks to lovingly craft the male characters, and the female characters are all titless wonders. And it's like, well, I'm sorry that you have never grown beyond a training bra and you're 32 and have cats. That's not my problem. I'm sick of it. I'm just fucking tired of it. And then it goes into regular gaming because now all the fucking pictures, all the fucking images in the fucking gaming books are of titless wonders and twinks. And it's like, for God's sake, can't we have a guy that looks like, what was wrong with your human body? I mean, ugh. And then the fucking rules are getting worse and worse. How to maximize your character's stats to max. It's like, fuck you. Play the game. Sit down and play the fucking game. The best race class combinations. And you know what gets me? This is what really gets me the most. This is what infuriates me the most. They act like this is all new. Like this is all something somebody just came up with, ignoring, 40 years, 30 years worth of Dragon magazine and Dungeon magazine and everything else. I fucking hate it. And it's just pissing me off to the point where I don't care about any of their new products. Their new products can go fuck themselves.
I agree.
Fuck, I need a cigarette. I mean,
no, you nailed everything.
And then making the
double
rules.
Standard too. The double standard of the hunky, oiled, 8-pack ab men. That's totally fine to have in the game. I mean, that was one problem that happened with the Mortal Kombat games. They made the women ugly and covered them up, but the men lost their clothing. Yeah. So it's okay to make men a sexualized object, but no, not women.
What
the fuck is that?
The same author who puts out the article talking about how putting female characters in burqas is empowering is the same one that wrote the article that was like shirtless Ryu is what everybody needs. Ugh. Can they just fucking stop? I mean, every fucking game, every tabletop, and you know what? The worst part is, never mind. I'll let somebody else talk for a couple. No, I'm gonna let somebody else talk for a couple minutes because I'm just getting madder.
I was just gonna say the biggest problem is that they're putting single women who aren't going to get a date no matter what they do, and gay men in charge of this shit. So they don't want actual women on the screen because, well, that's competition, and it's like, oh, it makes me feel bad that I haven't lost at least like 50 pounds or something like that, and I don't shower every day. So, they put these horrible, unattractive women in their games, but then they pepper it with all of this, male eye candy because that's what they want. And then when you get on them for it, then they like scream at you that you're oppressing them.
Oh, I mean, the new Fable game that's coming out and how the female character is beyond dog ugly, like to the point that I look at that character and I feel absolute anger and hatred.
Is that the bucktooth bitch?
One of her teeth are like cracked. Have you seen the model she's based on too? I feel sorry for the model. She's gorgeous. The same thing happened when they made Sarah Ryder in the Andromeda game. The woman was absolutely gorgeous, and they turned the character into a deformed woman. It was so sad to see. And it's just, like they make these women so ugly. And it's like, if I play a male character in the game, because I will play males too. I don't just play females. It's fun to play the males too. I won't romance the females. I'm like, you are too fucking ugly. I just can't. I will not do it.
It's like, can I be part of your party? Oh God, no.
Yeah, that's the new.
No. You take your ugly ass back to whatever the fuck you were doing. No, you can't come with me.
Yeah.
It's like, God damn it.
And that's the new chick for Fable. Look how fucking ugly she is.
Wait, they didn't Photoshop that face? That actually is what she looks like?
That's what she, like, I seriously, looking at her right now, the anger and rage is rising inside of me because she is so fucking ugly. And that arrogant ass snarl.
And oh God, I hate the arrogant expressions they give these women.
That's
Yeah.
dude.
It's there's either the arrogant expression or the fucking smirk.
Yeah.
And it, look, smirky, get the fuck out, It's like, God damn it, can you just give us something to work with? I mean, anything where I'm good, oh, you should like the person for their personality. Well, they have a shit personality, so there's that. God, ranting.
They're not even nice to look at. We've got nothing.
Yeah, they've got either bad or no personalities. What genitals you put your mouth on is not a replacement for a personality.
Is that even a woman?
It's
Yeah, it
supposed
looks
to be,
like a
but she's
dude.
got sideburns.
She's
Of
got
course she does.
sideburns, and some angles she looks like she's got a soul patch going.
Of
Yeah.
course she does. It's like,
No, I
my
truly
fucking
feel
God.
sorry for the face model. That is horrible.
Whoop.
Okay, so that's just the battery outside.
Okay.
So anyway, when the progressives say that we need more progress, this is the progress they're talking about.
Yeah.
Well, let's not forget that they've spent more time and effort getting rid of Lara Croft's boobs than they did on improving AI in games.
Yeah.
Oh, don't get me started on that.
I mean, look at her little Funko Pop, just has 2 little mosquito bites.
When the new game came out, the reboot, and she had like an A cup, I was disappointed. I didn't even play that game, but they had to have the obligatory rape scene.
Oh, of course
where
it does.
she frees herself from the rapists. Yeah.
Of course, we got that.
I want to make a point here. Okay, feminists bitch and bitch and bitch about how they're represented. You give them the reins. You let them do it. What do? Instantly, Lara Croft becomes a pushover, a wimp who gets raped. You give the progressives their utopian idea, Star Trek. Oh, that's the ideal world we want. You let them write it. What do they turn it into? A masochist
fucking dystopia.
Yeah, it becomes a dystopic shit show. I mean, it doesn't matter. These people have proven time and again, all they're capable of is producing shit. Everything they touch turns to shit.
And if I have to read one more, we're gonna, okay, I do a lot of I defeat my enemy by making him my friend, but I do it on Star Nation level. I am fucking tired to death of, I don't know. I mean, fuck. The fucking villains are either so paper thin and moronic. Half the time, the villain is in the right. I mean, fuck. I'm so sick of modern fucking storytelling. I mean, Thanos could have just doubled the resources. Well, congratulations. Now every world is a fucking, fucking cosmic ray blasted radioactive hellscape. Because can you imagine if they doubled the amount of radioactive materials on Earth? And then you doubled the sun's output because solar radiation is a resource. Imagine if you doubled the sun's output on us, we'd be fucked.
Well, let me throw a different one at you with Thanos. Right? Thanos was wrong. Humanity was doing badly with half of its population gone. No one seemed to notice that.
Yeah.
No, he was the only one that was happy. He lived in the peaceful life, but it wasn't just Earth either. I mean, unfortunately, having to listen to her open her mouth. But when Carol Danvers even said that other planets were doing way worse than Earth because they didn't have superheroes. Yeah, it was bad.
Do you know what that shows me? Do you know what that showed me though? That showed me that Marvel writers think that when bad things happen, people just sit around and cry. 5 years after the snap, there would have been some people in therapy, but there wouldn't have been garbage everywhere. Okay. There wouldn't have been, everybody would have picked up and moved on. When you lose somebody, you don't lay on the ground for 5 fucking years weeping about it. You pick yourself up, you dust yourself off, and you start working again. It shows that these writers think that everything stays, if half the people in the world disappeared, well, first of all, if I was one of the ones that was left, I'd just start laughing because why the fuck did I get left? But and what about your family? Why did I get left? That's a cosmic joke right there. But I wouldn't just sit there and fucking pile up garbage outside my fucking house. I mean, for fuck's sake. And other planets are doing even worse. Well, I'm sorry that those planets are full of retards. How about you do something about the blue retard fucking group? I mean, God, that fucking pissed me off. And then it's like, oh, well, they got rid of half the animals and half the plants. It's like, oh, so everybody died of lack of oxygen. He said half of sentient advanced life. That's what he got rid of. But no, he got rid of half the fish and half the insects.
So he didn't fix anything anyway.
No.
It just made it worse.
And yet you still have people arguing that he was the hero.
Oh
Thanos
my
was
God,
the hero.
what
Thanos was the fucking hero. If it wasn't for the insects and the trees, they did that just so they could say, well, Thanos wasn't that smart. Fuck you, eat shit. Okay, if he would have gotten rid of half the sentience, he would have. God, I can argue that he's right. I can argue that he's wrong. But the big thing is they had it where 5 years later, everybody's still wandering around shell-shocked. Can you imagine if for 5 years after World War II, everybody just sat in the rubble crying instead of doing what actually happened?
9/11. There's
Yeah.
an example.
Buddy Smith says Thanos was a simp for death. That was the original
Yes.
Infinity War storyline. He wanted to make sweet, sweet love to death.
I fucking love that story arc.
I was sad they didn't do that either.
But I mean, it's just, oh, fuck. And, Carol Danvers, God, I hate her on the movies. And, they're coming out with the Marvels, and I love how they do it. 3 times the power, 3 times the something, 3 times the cats. Oh, well, you know your target audience, don't you?
That
Fuck.
movie's going to bomb so bad.
Oh,
right
no,
now,
they're going to spend the money to buy tickets.
Well, they have to, because Quantum Mania is considered the worst movie Marvel has made. It's worse than Thor: Love and Thunder.
From what I heard, it deserved it. I don't get Disney movies anymore.
What they did to MODOK was awful. I have not seen it. Friends told me what happened and said it was a good thing I did not see the movie, because I probably would have thrown my popcorn at the screen and started shrieking uncontrollably.
Well, apparently they made him into Trump.
And not only was he Trump, he was Yellow Jacket from the first movie. He was Darren Cross. He wasn't the original MODOK. And the only reason he was turned into MODOK is because he got shoved into the quantum verse, and Kang turned him into MODOK.
MODOK was a product.
MODOK's ass.
Oh,
Yeah, you get to see his little butt on his big head.
I think it was AIM made him.
Yeah, AIM made the original MODOK.
Yeah.
And it was, what was it? Mechanized organism designed only for computing, but then it got smart. And then became mechanized organism designed only for killing.
Yeah, but I mean, oh God, I mean, I fucking hate this shit. And, they're ruining fucking, fuck. RPGs are fucking damn near a loss. I mean, and then, and then there's always the always part of, you know what, never mind. I lost my train of thought. Yeah,
all right.
I'm just pissed off. No, I'm just pissed off. It's like, for fuck's sake.
You're like I am when I go off about X-Men and other things. I've been there. I get it.
It's like, can you just stop? Just for a little bit, stop. But no, they can't. They just got to keep right on going. It's not for you anymore. Well, fine. And then it's why don't you give us why aren't you giving us your money?
Because it's not for me.
Because it's not for me. You just told me it wasn't for me.
But you still need to give me money.
Yeah.
I hate when they say, I didn't make this movie for white dudes. What white dudes seeing my movie? Because you told them not to. And
you told me to stay home.
Yeah, you told them to stay home. And since my husband, who's a white dude, was told to stay home, why the fuck am I going to go see that movie by myself? I like going to the movie with my husband. It's fun. So if you tell him to stay home, neither one of us are going. I hate that whole, I don't make this movie for men. I don't make this movie for white men. And then they bitch. Well, why aren't the white men coming to a movie? Because you told them not to, you dumb cunt.
Yeah, because when we did say, oh, she's just saying that, we went to the movie, you spent all your time talking about how we're the problem with everything. And it's like, fine, then you don't want my money.
Venture is Gen X.
Yes. And his
Rusty.
kids are just staring haplessly going, what the fuck?
No, it's just we all have had that look of the pointing the hand at the thing and go,
Yeah.
oh come on.
Yeah, what the fuck? Yeah, that was his line. Oh, come on.
Yeah, we've all been there.
Yeah.
I like the millennials are Steven Universe. And what a more fitting example of millennials. Apology to the millennials that are in chat, because I know you're not these millennials.
Yeah.
But
escaped
that
it.
show is they took everything about millennials, the worst of them, distilled it down into Steven Universe and said, this is the greatest thing ever. This represents us. They did a whole episode. Speaking of their weird ass rape fantasies, they even had rape in Steven Universe. Where
Of course they did.
Pearl kept lying to Garnet, because I read the article about it. About there were enemies around, so she could force her to merge with her because she liked the power she had. And so, yeah, that it was. They even said they wrote that story as a rape allegory. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
Why do
This
we need
is
a rape allegory in a child show? Why?
Because these people are fucking obsessed with kids.
because they're obsessed with kids, and then kids will see it like, oh, it was a mistake, it was an accident. And then, when the predators come after them, be like, oh, it was a mistake, it was an accident. They didn't mean to hurt me.
It was a consent accident.
Yeah, it was a consent accident.
You need to be understanding, otherwise you're the asshole.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is what I'm talking about, progressivism. It's right there on the screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the problem. That's the progress they're talking about.
I'm just gonna bring up one thing. Here's one shining ray of light. I think that is an indicator that things are shifting, because at the end of the day, no matter fucking what, money talks. I was bemoaning jokingly to RALT'S Janelle that Ishii, the horrible bastard that he is, forced me to go bra shopping yesterday. It was for
the horror.
Oh, the horror! Oh, I'm getting the vapors, heart palpitations. How dare he? Oh my god!
This is for research for a story he's writing, and he wanted to see the bra shopping in action, so we went to Victoria's Secret. Jaw hit the floor. They're going to be carrying size G in a few weeks.
Oh dear.
Yeah, that amazed and astounded me, because the rule had been it was a cold day in hell if you found something larger than a double D there. And
yeah,
the fact that they're going to be carrying G's, and they're going to be carrying 34G. I'm shocked. That's the barometer right there of where things are going.
At least here.
It's swinging back to where boobs are good, and that makes me happy.
Okay, this is a little too much information, but I'm going to say it anyway. I let Steve pick out my bras.
That's okay. Ishii took on the job for me, because otherwise I was going to punch my screen.
Steve took on the job for me too, because I got frustrated as well. There's only one other person who knows my breasts better than myself, and that is my husband.
I used to actually go in and I'd put the bra cup over the back of my hand, and then I'd shift my hand like I was holding her breast, and then I'd put my other hand and make sure that they matched, and I'd buy her bras like that. And I had a woman ask me what I was doing. I explained it. She goes, that can't work. Right as my wife came up, and she goes, oh, it works perfectly. My bras fit perfectly every time. But I guess I looked a little weird. I guess I looked a little weird. Yeah, it works great.
Doesn't matter that it's weird. It works. That's the important thing.
But I mean, well, hell, it's how I knew what size she was by how it fitted my hand. I mean, what do you fucking want? I'm not a fucking, anatomy genius.
Okay, so the research thing.
Oh, are you gonna read it?
Here's the thing. For the book Jugs, which was the writing guide on how to write big boobs, that morphed into Boobs of Steel, which is a much more serious book. there was a short little vignette I had written into it about why I know so much about bra sizes. And I had shared it with Piper, Piper Steed.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And she said, you know what? It doesn't matter that all of this is true. The fact is, you're male. No one's going to believe you or take this seriously. And I don't know, one of those days, just some weird idea falls out of the sky and hits me on the head. And I start thinking, well, you know, I've already written the vignette and I've already written the chapter. What if I just turned it into a fictional story? And so it's based loosely on some stuff that really happened. So the day Kat put a fist-sized hole in the closet door was the day I knew she'd had enough. The Sisyphean struggle to find a bra that both fit and flattered my wife's lovely figure had finally driven her to the breaking point. Less than an hour earlier, we'd been in a shopping excursion, this time at the Southgate Mall. We'd gone from store to store, spending our Saturday pawing through racks and overstock bins, grabbing whatever looked promising. Hey, look, I found one that's a 34F. Maybe it'll fit, I said, I recall saying inside Victoria's Secrets. I held up a black lacy bra dotted with tiny embroidered flowers. God, I'm sounding great tonight. Kat eyed it and frowned. I'm a 32. That won't work. Could you maybe sew it with hooks to make it fit? I wish. Bras don't work that way. Well, then how does the sizing work? I asked, pushing aside a row of ruffled bras that were all sized 48 double G range. Fuck it. Pushing aside a row of ruffled bras, all that ranged in the size of 38 double G. These letters, numbers, there doesn't seem to be any consistency to it. Yeah, exactly. You see why I hate doing this? So the original story vignette that I'd written was explaining how.
I'll need to change that to Frederick's because that's where it was.
Oh no, I'm gonna then make it go to Frederick's.
No, you have it at Vicky's, but Vicky's doesn't have sizes that big.
Trust me, I know what I'm doing.
Okay.
I know where I'm going with this. Okay. The original one was just saying that after Kat had put her fist through the closet door, I decided, fuck it, I'm going to slay this dragon. I'm going to figure it out. And I explained how I figured it out. And Piper said, no one's going to buy this, even though this is real. And what it was is I'd done all this research. It took me about a month, and it was like, what the fuck? This makes no goddamn sense. And I had written down all these rules, Schrodinger's bra, that all bras are in a state of fitting and not fitting until worn.
Yep.
Yes.
Yes.
Even if they say that they're the same size, no.
And what it was is I'd stumbled upon the website of a woman named Lorna Morgan, who was a glamour model from Wales, who has a Celtic figure. Give me a second. I think an illustration is necessary. And her website, yeah, you could pay money to see her in glamour pictures, a lot of 1950s type stuff. But she had a forum on there that was open to anybody. And there was this huge segment on there where it was all about where she gets her bras, how they fit, all these questions that women were asking. And lo and behold, there were the answers. She made sense of it all. So I've decided I'm going to rewrite the story where I'm digging and digging and digging through the internet trying to make sense of it. And I black out and I awaken in the Valley of Abundance. And the goddess Lorna Morgaine comes down from the sky and explains she's the Celt goddess of breast support. And that through the ages, Celtic women have always struggled to support their breasts. And that's why they have a goddess devoted to answering all these questions.
I like that.
Nice.
So I figure, okay, that way, if I put it in a humorous form, nobody's going to think twice.
Yeah.
But let's see. I'm sure a few people in the audience know who Lorna Morgan is.
But no, I've I have learned that historically speaking, Victoria's Secret is the barometer on where things are going as far as views on female anatomy and what is considered attractive and what isn't. And not only is Victoria's Secret leaning towards boobs, they're leaning towards curvy, not fat, curvy women again.
So old school 1950s pinup curvy.
Yeah.
Good.
And no, the other thing was that was where, you know, we found out about posture, and she went on this whole thing about how back pain isn't real unless you're like ginormous sized. This is Lorna Morgan.
Oh my goodness.
Oh wow.
She's adorable.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Very classy too, actually. But yeah, she just did this. She answered basically every question we had. And that is why Kat can now buy bras that fit.
Without killing my computer.
Right. Without putting holes in the closet door anymore.
Yeah.
Jesus. What it was we'd gone on that bra search excursion, and she had been a 32 double F, which she could occasionally find at Victoria's Secret.
No, at Frederick's.
At Frederick's.
I could never find anything
Really?
at Victoria's. Yeah. No. I stopped shopping at Victoria's because again, I'm not kidding. They bottom out at Double D.
That is true.
You know, they don't like carrying anything in larger sizes.
So
Even the one in Las Vegas, they don't like carrying in larger sizes.
but yeah, you put your fist through the door and you had a meltdown because you looked on the website and well, what they measured you at Frederick's and said, "Oh, your size doesn't exist. You've got a fat woman's bra size."
Yeah.
Oh well, fuck you too.
Yeah, it's like, my wife isn't fat, you piece of shit.
No, and then they told me to go over to Lane Bryant.
They did not.
They did.
Damn.
I'm poor. I'm poor. Bras come from Walmart.
Lane Bryant is the store for the big and beautiful.
Oh, like Torrid.
Yes.
Actually, yes.
So it's Torrid for rich people.
Yes.
Okay, now I understand.
And so, yeah, so she put her fist through the closet door, and then she looked on the website because the woman said, "Well, you're going to have to go to our website to get something that'll fit you." And they were all like really slutty, trashy bras that she knew weren't going to last very long.
Mm-hmm.
And they were way overpriced. And my God, you were mad.
They look good, but they last about 10 minutes.
Exactly.
I brought my wife a really expensive bra, and she put it on, and she jumped for some reason. It was just like a little skip, and the fucking strap popped, and she was so mad because she'd worn it for less than an hour.
Oh, jeez.
And that was an expensive bra.
Yeah, I would be pissed too.
I would be, yeah. No, you wouldn't be pissed. You would be infuriated.
Yeah.
She was like, "Don't ever buy me this again."
Fists.
Mm-hmm.
She was like, "Don't ever buy me this shit again." I was like, okay.
But yeah, thanks to Lorna Morgan, we found out where to get nice looking bras that fit and flatter. And you've never had a problem since.
Nope. It's called Don't Go in a Store.
Well, that and the salespeople were such assholes.
Yes.
They are total assholes.
Well, because you had a nice rack and they are jealous. You can see the jealousy when they see the girls that walk in with the big boobs. Because have you seen a lot of those Victoria's Secrets girls that work there? They're like A-cups.
Yeah. Although this woman this weekend, she was actually exceptional. I don't know what her logic was for trying to do the measurements.
Because they were completely wrong.
Because it was completely wrong, and I've never seen that before. But She at least was genuinely nice and genuinely trying to help. And so I gave her major kudos. But yeah.
The last time
I'm without words. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
The last time I went into a Victoria's Secret, I was looking for some nice bras for sexy time. And the woman just kept saying to me, she's like, "You're not going to really find anything in here. I don't think we have anything to support you." And I was like, "Don't you want my money?" Yeah, I didn't say that to her, but I found like a couple of bras that would work. They definitely couldn't be worn for, working out or anything. But yeah, she just every time I went to go get a bra, she's like, "Yeah, I don't think that's gonna work for you. Yeah, I don't think that's gonna have enough support for you." It was like she wanted me out of the fucking store. She didn't want my money or anything.
Bitch, what the fuck?
Yeah, I was just like, dude.
You are less than helpful.
Yeah. And when I went to that store, Kat, that picture I sent you of me, that was when I was younger. And I looked like that. And she didn't want me in the store.
Ah.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm not a fan of Victoria's Secret. Besides, I got tired of seeing girls wear sweatpants with like the Victoria's Secret shit on their butt, whatever they used to put on it, you know what I'm talking about? Their exercise line. I was like, that's another thing I can't stand is how today in society women can dress like fucking slobs and it's okay. They can go out in their sweatpants and go out. Like I won't
or dress like a complete whore, but as long as they're not attractive, it's okay.
Yeah, I admit I go out in my PJs or my junkie clothes, but that's if I'm going to like Home Depot or if I had to take Chris to school and then I have to run to the grocery store real quick. I'm not going out on an outing. In fact, I'm embarrassed if I have to go out looking like a scrub. I will not wear sweatpants out unless, like I said, I'm going to Home Depot or, I'm going to practice or something. But I see women dress like that all the time. When I'm in the grocery store and I see a woman in her PJs and slippers and bathrobe, like I'm not even like that. I'm literally wearing tennis shoes and basketball jams and a t-shirt. So at least I look like I've been working out or, I've been doing something. I've seen people walk in looking like they just rolled out of bed. I have seen women walk in carrying their fucking stuffed animals in their PJs to go grocery shopping.
Not a purse poodle, but like an actual stuffed animal.
Yeah, they're carrying their stuffed animal around while they're shopping in their bathrobe and their flannels.
We got to put an end to this infantilism.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Yeah. Like I said, I already feel embarrassed being in my junkie clothes, being out there. But I would never roll into a store like that. I mean, unless like I was deathly ill and I needed some NyQuil. I don't give a fuck. But I mean, this is literally somebody doing grocery shopping. They weren't in there because they were sick and dressed like that. No, they were in there to buy groceries and were going up and down every single aisle. It was almost like she was missing a pacifier. That was it. Seriously, all she needed was a pacifier and she'd have the whole thing going.
So there, I found the photo, Kat.
Yeah?
I found the photo that started it all.
Okay.
Yeah, it was this question. Where did you buy that bra?
Ah.
Good Lord, that's a gorgeous bra.
And she told me. Where did you get that? And how do you, because she's like, what, a double J now? It's like, fuck.
Yeah.
So yeah, if she can get good bras, they exist.
That was actually a very pretty bra.
Yeah. Well, that was the other thing is another reason Kat would get so mad is that a lot of the Frederick stuff was just trashy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Really cheap,
I never went to Frederick's. I just couldn't. Like, I'd walk into that store and I'm like, I don't care. No. I mean, I would rather put my bra together with safety pins than wear this stuff. It is too trashy and it would probably break anyway.
I found if you just beelined it to the back wall, they had some normal air quotes bras. So that's what I would do is I'd hunt those down. But when he was mentioning going through the bargain bins and shit like that, that was basically what you had to do is you had to look for the bras that were not slut gear, and they were usually on discount, so at least there was that. But it took some hunting, and then just try not to talk to the salespeople. It's like, no, I know what I'm doing. Leave me alone. Go away, please.
R1 said something about, was there really a naked obese woman that went to a grocery store and smeared herself in cake?
Yes. There was a black woman,
What
and I think
the
she was on
fuck?
PCP. It was the same week that a black woman got naked and started shooting on the
Shooting
freeway.
people on the Oakland Bridge, wasn't it? Or the
No,
Oakland Freeway?
both happened in the same week, where an overweight black woman took all her clothes off and did something insane. And there was the one overweight black woman who decided she was going to start shooting people on the Bay Bridge at random. And then there was another black woman who wandered into a store nude and just started smearing. She walked into the pastry section and just started smearing ice cream cakes all over herself and putting them in her ass.
Oh, God. I'm sorry. I remember about the woman shooting at people because I watched the video of the guy filming as she was shooting at their car.
Well, I have a theory about why that was happening, but
PCP.
Exactly. Yes,
Yeah.
you knew that was gonna. It was they're on PCP.
Because that's that shit that tweakers or PCP does.
What was the brand that works?
Yeah,
Oh, God.
Marty, I'm with you. I feel sorry for the people who had to clean up that mess from that woman smearing cake all over herself. Ugh.
Oh, you fell off the couch. Are you all right there, champ? The dog rolled over and fell off the couch.
Oh, poor guy.
And she's looking at the couch like, why did you do that to me?
Is this the same one that kept bugging you a couple of days ago that would not go potty, just wanted to lay out in the grass?
Yes.
Karma.
Yeah.
That's so gross, man. I don't know if I'll look at
Okay.
cake the same way again.
Oh,
Ugh.
look, the Smith and Wesson annual meeting's coming up for stockholders. Yay, I get to vote, even though I have one share of stock.
Hey, but you still have a voice, and that's
Yes.
what's important.
Hang on.
Gingeronimo said, I bet I can make a line of women's clothes called Slut Gear and they'd get rich. I agree.
Yeah.
Actually, though, the pendulum's swinging back. I've noticed women are starting to dress more conservative.
Good.
Yeah. I've noticed that goth girls today are going back to dressing like they did in the 90s, where they were covered from head to toe. Which, I haven't seen that in ages. Usually they're wearing, little Gucci dresses with their ass cheeks hanging out and fishnets, But yeah, like I'm seeing them wear the old, the Victorian era skirts again and wearing the trench coats.
A lot of them were like, I'm sick of being associated with these freaks that have hijacked the scene. Okay, let's do something they'll absolutely hate. Let's go turn of the century, 1900 style or Victorian.
You mean like it used to be in the 90s?
Sort of, yeah.
I remember some women dressed Victorian era, and I thought they looked classy as hell. They looked like something out of a gothic horror, which was exactly what they were going for. I also remember some girls would actually wrap their hands in electrical tape so they could be like Eric Draven.
Oh,
I liked it better when they put their nipples in.
Oh yeah, I do remember when they cover their nipples in electrical tape too.
Yeah, every once in a while you'd go to a goth club and there was that one girl with the huge knockers. All she had was electrical tape on.
Yep.
Now, here's an example. Daisy Cousins was kind of goth punk, but she was sick of the scene being hijacked, so she went Victorian. I mean, can you see this? Or oh wait, you can't see this, can you?
No,
there we go.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Or here's another picture.
I've
And
noticed
she
some
did-
of the. Oh, go ahead.
And she did this because she was sick of the woke freaks hijacking the scene and turning it into something it was never meant to be.
I've noticed some of the goth women too are going back to dressing 1920s style with the finger curls, and some of them will even have the beaded dresses and the flapper dresses. A lot of Victorian era through like the early 1900s. I've noticed that's where the trend is going. Not only that, they're not wearing the black lipstick anymore. They've gone back to wearing the eyeliner with the blood red lipstick. I'm like, that's awesome.
Oxblood.
Yeah, the oxblood lipstick.
Oxblood always looked better.
I can't remember her name. She was a part of the Sisters of Mercy for a while. It was Patricia something, but she really nailed that. She had the Victorian era outfits with the oxblood red lips and the smoky eye and black nails. Fuck, what is her name? She was part of the punk rock scene first before she got snagged by Sisters of Mercy. I'm gonna have to look it up. It's Patricia something. But you guys, if you want to see, what is it? Lucretia, My Reflection is a perfect example of that whole Victorian era goth look.
So what's the audience said? Trad wife getting big again. I don't know.
Yes.
I'd prefer the gun-toting frontier wife myself, but
Guy who wanted a trad wife and got a tard wife. Or in my wife's case, it's a woman who wanted a trad husband and got a tard husband.
Okay.
Oh,
I
damn.
think a lot of us never wanted to leave the 90s.
Steve and I
leave
never
the
left
80s.
the 90s.
I didn't
Steve
wanna
still
leave the
dresses like
80s.
the 90s.
No, the 80s were the best.
The 90s were full of music and nothing but cry and whine about shit. We went from, that chick is so sexy and let's get drunk and fucking wake up in a ditch to nobody loves me and everybody hates me and there's not even any worms in the garden for me to eat.
Patricia Morrison. Sorry. Patricia Morrison. There you go. Sorry, that was going to bother me all night unless I looked it up. But yes, please bring back the 80s and 90s. That was the best time of everybody's life.
Well, the problem is back then nobody gave a fuck if your feelings were hurt.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Which was great. I loved it.
You hurt my feelings, but that was my intention.
You're not on Twitter, are you, Janelle?
I try to stay away from it. Every time I've gone on, I went onto Twitter yesterday and I got really fucking mad again, so I had to leave.
Yeah, I'm getting sick of it too, but I got to promote a book.
Same here. I would love to not be there.
Yeah, it's depressing. But I got to admit that I was thoroughly enraging some millennials who were highly insistent that punk was always leftist and communist.
Oh my fucking God.
And so I shared a few clips from The Decline of Western Civilization, the documentary, where they're interviewing the various punk kids in the scene. Yeah, I just want to do my own thing, man. Say hippies. Fuck hippies. We like kicking their asses. But
yeah,
fucking hate hippies.
Well,
and there was another one where guys like he's reading a letter that had been sent to Slash magazine. And he said, I'm so sick and tired of everyone being against nuclear power. Fuck this shit. I don't give a fuck. I want my electricity.
Yeah.
The movie SLC Punk, when they did the food chain, and at the bottom of the food chain, the music and grouping food chain where the hippies were at the bottom, but the punks were on the top, followed by the metalheads. And the mods and the rude boys.
Because they could kick everyone's ass. No, seriously, I put the metalheads at the top because seriously, they were the ones that could kick your ass.
A lot of the metalheads were from the South. That's why it's so surprising that Metallica and Megadeth came out of the Bay Area.
I'm not
places.
Megadeth was one thing, but Metallica was trying to sell out from the get-go.
No, elaborate. No, I want to hear.
Yeah,
I used to be a huge Metallica fan, and now I'm not.
Listen to every song from their first album that was, put out by the music industry. And you can tell that every single one of them is designed to sell out. I mean, Blackened, and Justice for All of them were designed. They were
all
very safe.
Yes. Meanwhile, Dave Mustaine had no problem shredding everybody in the Megadeth songs. You know, peace sells, but who's buying? So far, so good. So what?
Yeah.
Symphony of Destruction. Holy shit! Like the best album ever. Yeah, I used to be a huge Metallica fan, and as I got older and I started listening to the lyrics, I was like, oh, you know what? I think I like Megadeth more.
Okay, so I do want to say one more thing about these twerps that were. One of them posted the lyrics to the Black Flag song "White Minority," saying, "Tell me how this isn't political or leftist." And I go, "Okay, if I recall correctly, that song was actually directly aimed at the LA punk scene at the time, because the whites and non-white punks were self-segregating, and they thought it was stupid." This is not some grand statement about racism, guys.
I mean, if you've ever listened to any of the Black Flag albums, Henry Rollins has put some weird poetry on that shit too. What was the poetry that he put on one of them where he talks about putting salt on a slug and how it glistened as it was dissolving?
Henry Rollins went. I mean, his music went to shit, and he went to shit. He turned into a fucking weirdo about. I don't know, about 2006. He turned into really fucking weird.
I remember him in the movie The Chase. I mean, he was good in Johnny Mnemonic too, but The Chase was hysterical with Charlie Sheen and Christy Swanson. Does anybody remember that film?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that movie because Henry Rollins played the stereotypical "I'm an awesome jock cop" that keeps made to look like an idiot, which I thought was funny. But yeah, something happened to Henry Rollins.
He got money and he started hanging around with the Hollywood crowd. That's what happened to him. He got money, he started being in movies, and he suddenly turned into a jerk ass.
Oh, one more thing. I just, because I enjoy taunting these shits. Another one, they kept posting all these songs, right, that were like, well, you know, anti-government, anti-this. It's like, look, no single ideology or political stance has a monopoly on anti-authoritarianism. You know, just because you don't like authority does not mean you're a fucking communist or leftist, guys. That one really got a reaction.
My husband goes on to the Marxist Reddit, and this isn't today's Marxists. These are the hardcore true believer Marxists, and they can't fucking stand these people. These Marxists are also hardcore 2A and free speech.
Well, that's because Marx says not to. Marx says not to let you disarm them.
Yeah, no, it's so funny when you have like, the American communists, which are basically trust fund kids.
Yeah. American communist hates nationalism. Russian communist, patriot for the Soviet motherland. American communist, pacifist, hates the military. Russian communist, proud of his nation's military. American communist is against nuclear arms. Russians, we must have a strong nuclear arsenal.
Hey, will you guys excuse me for a minute? I'm going to go say goodnight to Chris. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Well, I'm happy. I transferred all 1,000+ chapters, all 3 million words, Behold Humanity / First Contact, onto my Patreon.
Congrats.
So now it's safe. Now I just have to put out 14 more books. Well, at least my artist should be contacting me about the next cover.
So when's the next one coming out?
As soon as he's done with the cover. I don't rush artists, because you end up with a half-ass product.
That's true.
Yep. The big thing happening now is the Terran Xenocide event. Is the big one happening in the novels. Where all but a couple million Terrans just drop dead.
You know, I think that you really were onto something when you said that really the synopsis for your book was 8,000 years in the future, humanity's just as drunken and stupid as they ever were.
Yeah. The other good synopsis is one day a lemur picked up a rock and hucked it at a deer, and the universe made that everyone's problem. Because everybody else, because you know how there's this ongoing argument in science fiction about how kinetic weapons would be obsolete instantly and nobody would use them if you develop lasers.
Bullshit.
I actually have one of the chapters that explains that lasers are lasers. Energy weapons are energy weapons. You might be able to change the frequency a little bit, maybe get them to flicker, but they don't really do much beyond directed energy. Or kinetic rounds have all kinds of fun you can do with them. You can add a micro tracer so that every single gyrojet rocket round afterwards hits right where that tracer is. There's all kinds of shit you can do with them. And everybody's like, yeah, but lasers. It's like, yeah, well, fuck you.
I have a even easier argument, okay? The gun is one of the most simplest and reliable ways to kill someone.
Yeah.
We didn't abandon the sword because we had guns. No, we still have bayonets, damn it. Bayonets are just as effective as the blade has ever been. Machetes, yeah. Just as effective as they've ever been. Why would we abandon something so reliable and simple as a handgun for a laser that's going to need batteries and tuning?
Yes. And
you don't want to get wet.
Think of all the shock dampening it has so it doesn't throw the lenses out of alignment.
Right.
And then atmospheric attenuation. In my stuff, there's a grenade. It's called a prism grenade. It spews out water droplets, and inside of each water droplet are a few precision cut microcrystals that as soon as the laser hits it, it just turns it into rainbows.
Yeah.
So fuck your laser rifle. I'll just throw this and I'll hide in it. Oh, look at all the pretty colors. What does it do to bullets? Nothing. It doesn't do anything to bullets. Bullets are hard to stop, or laser beams, a thin coating of superconductor spray. And it's going to automatically try to even out the temperature. It's going to automatically even out the temperature so there's no thermal shock.
Once I looked into it because I give a shit about stuff like this. Why it was that Roddenberry had the Enterprise with phasers and photon torpedoes. Because why have both? You guys are always just using the phasers. And I found out the logic. He actually thought this through. And that was the phasers did damage, but they didn't do kinetic damage.
Right.
Where the torpedo, once you've broken their shields, the torpedo explodes.
That'll do it.
That's the difference.
I like that initially the photon torpedoes didn't do any damage to shields. You had to wait till the shields drop.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But now
They
just
changed that.
Watching the shows, it looks like it.
Yeah, it was always the phasers had to cut through the shields, and then you use the torpedoes to actually do the damage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello, kitten. But yeah, I mean, it's funny because I've been trying to look at other people's sci-fi, and I'm not going to name any names because I don't want to shame anybody. But I picked up a few sci-fi books and read the first couple paragraphs to get first chapter or so to get an idea. Oh God, it's just I don't know. I couldn't get into it. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I read too much old stuff. But oh God, and there was a writer who's a New York Times bestseller list that was telling everybody, don't read anything that hasn't been on the New York bestsellers list because those people don't know what the audience wants. And if you look on the New York bestsellers list, you're like, how the fuck is this selling?
Well, as you found out, they aren't.
Yeah.
Right, they're not. What it is the publishing company buys those books to keep them up there. I mean, what was it? It was some politician got on the New York Times bestseller list. He was like number 4. And 3 months later, somebody found tens of thousands of his books in a landfill.
Oh, it was Ted Cruz. I
Oh.
remember that. It was Ted Cruz. And it was
You know,
during the election when he was going against, it was Bush. Yeah.
No, this was like 3 years ago.
Okay. No, I remember Ted Cruz got busted for that.
So did the commie guy. And well, actually, the funny thing is with politicians, their books are money laundering schemes.
Of course.
Somebody who they put out a book, and somebody who owes them like $20 million buys enough of the books that he gets $20 million, and they just dump it in a landfill. And of course, those books make it on the New York Times, and the New York Times bestseller list has the weirdest fucking things. You can't be an independent publisher. You can't have any violence on your covers. You can't have any cover that might be emotionally disturbing. It just has all kinds of weird shit to it. And it's like, that's why all these covers are so bland.
You know, I don't even know why anyone gives a damn about the New York Times bestsellers anymore. I mean, everything on their shit. I mean, for that matter, why would anyone even read the New York Times at this point? It's all just bullshit.
Pretty much.
There's a lot of people out there though that still think that
what's printed in there is real.
Yep. Let's not forget the New York Times covered up both the Jewish Holocaust and the Holodomor, and shit.
And continually lied about the success of the Soviet Union.
Yep, and they lied about the Armenian genocide.
You know what the bizarre thing is? Okay, I'm just gonna throw this out there. It was a Jewish editorial staff that made these choices.
Yeah, I always thought that was odd.
Why? I don't understand that.
What was funny is when initially when the wall went down, Russia gave America access to all kinds of shit. And it came out in like 93 that the New York Times was basically run by the KGB.
Yeah.
And they memory hold that shit so hard. Once the war on terror started, once 9/11 happened, they memory hold so much shit and deleted so many articles. Like the New York Times and a couple of other papers were entirely run by the KGB.
That's not surprising,
there was one Pulitzer Prize winning a journalist who covered Russia and China during the Great Cultural Revolution and the rise of the Soviet Union. And everything he said was bullshit.
Isn't he the one that never left the U.S.?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's like it turned out that the KGB actually was influencing the colleges with massive donations and people they trained becoming teachers, and that shit got memory hold. And see, that's what happened. You want to know how this progressive shit happened? Really, how it happened? Is the KGB in the 60s, 70s, and 80s infiltrated the American education system and the American journalistic sections, right? And as long as the KGB was pulling the strings, they kept it on the lowdown. But then Russia collapsed. The KGB was nullified. They brought in the new thing to cover it, but they didn't take back control of their operation. So basically, you had this huge machine with nobody controlling it. And because these people had amassed so much power, they began getting drunk on their own power. And that's what you ended up with it was a massive uncontrolled machine with nobody to take charge of it.
Hence the massive clusterfuck and why none of it makes any sense. It's no longer going towards any actual goal other than to sustain itself.
Okay, you're going to bed, baby? Love you. Well, what was it somebody said? The problem with the Soviet Union collapsing was the dragon's head had been cut off and it had died, but from its corpse 10,000 snakes wiggled into the jungle. And while individually not a threat, 10,000 snakes are irritating as hell.
Yeah.
Where can I look all this stuff up? This is the first time I've ever heard of any of this. This is fascinating.
A lot of it you might be able to find, but good luck, because Wikipedia completely fucking deleted all that shit.
Oh, I don't
around
trust
2003.
Wikipedia at all.
Oh, fuck. Wikipedia pisses me off. I spent 3 years. 3 years trying to correct
Wikipedia started
them.
as something really good, and then just all of a sudden the Ministry of Truth rolled in and sanitized all of it.
And
really
changed
what
shit.
it was was it the gender and diversity crowd from colleges just raided it.
Yeah, they started altering all the articles and becoming super users, and
Yeah,
Yeah,
and they
'cause
were all basically millennial college students out of women's studies and ethnic studies. That's well, they didn't have real jobs. What were they going to do with their time?
I argued with Wikipedia for I think 3 years. And this one fucking person kept reverting my changes, and I would report it, and they kept reverting my changes. And they were like, "Oh, well, this article says that," and I was like, "Are you fucking illiterate? That's not what it says." And finally, one of the founders of Wikipedia was doing an AMA, and I said, "Hey, when are you going to change this so it's right?" And I showed him the whole thing and showed him the changes. I said, "I am deliberately quoting the article that he says that is right, but yet he changes it to his interpretation." And finally, he changed it, and the guy threw such a hissy fit, he deleted like 5,000 articles and then quit
Really?
because somebody dared correct him because he was too stupid to read the fucking article that he was quoting. And it was from the CDC. Of course, now that whole fucking thing is nothing but garbage.
Well, I mean, does anyone really take Wikipedia seriously other than maybe boomers?
I use it to look up like heights, weights, lengths, calibers, armor thickness. But I mean, yeah, Wikipedia, you can tell when somebody just uses Wikipedia for their knowledge because their knowledge doesn't make sense. I mean, I got in an argument with somebody over the Bumblebee movie. And the Bumblebee movie starts out in 1983, and they've got black spray painted Generation 4 Humvees. And I was like, the Humvee was not in general distribution in 1983. And they're like, well, according to Wikipedia, the Humvee was designed in 1983. And I was like, it didn't finish Yakima and Aberdeen Proving Ground field trials until like 85. Well, it says that it was delivered to the first units in 1983. I said, those were the test units. But no, because Wikipedia says it was delivered to the first units in 1983. Everybody in the military had them. The fucking Bumblebee movie was such trash because you want to know what really got me about the Bumblebee movie? What really had me screaming? It wasn't the fact that they had M4s. It wasn't the fact they had M16A2s. It wasn't the fact they had Humvees. It was that at one of the most paranoid times of the U.S. government, they allowed 2 alien fucking robots to take control of ARPANET.
No.
I remember that.
I was like, oh my God. And nobody here is suspicious of the talking alien toaster. We're talking about one of the most paranoid times in U.S. history, where if somebody leaked classified information, they were usually strangled with a piece of commo cable and thrown in a ditch somewhere. And you're going to give this is what I hate about modern science fiction. Oh, well, I want them to have control of ARPANET, so even though it's against all of reality and any common sense, I'm going to where the scientists are like, okay,
yeah,
fuck you. God, and if I see one more fucking movie where the generals or officers are talking to the scientists and they don't listen to the scientists trying to explain how something works, something new works, I'm going to fucking scream because that's not reality. It's so fucking annoying. I can't remember what I was watching. It was a sci-fi movie, and the scientist was like, oh, it does this and this and this. And the general goes, oh, well, I don't listen to you because you're a scientist. Ha, ha, ha. It's like,
it's like, are you retarded? Yes.
Yes. It's like, can we have our sci-fi be intelligent? No, apparently we can't. And the new thing is eco-punk, where the world is in perfect harmony with nature. And get this, ivy is growing on the buildings. Yes.
How is eco-punk? I've written articles about, we need to just stop using that punk word because it doesn't mean what they think it does. How is that edgy and offensive and in your face? Oh, we're living in peace with nature. Oh yeah, that's real edgy, kids. Fuck
well,
off.
if you look at it, they have kudzu and ivy growing over everything, which just tells me these people have no idea what kudzu and ivy does to a building. It'll rip apart concrete. But it means they're with nature. Fuck you.
Well, these are the same twerps that also think that, oh yeah, well, eventually, it'll only take a couple months for everyone to learn how to farm.
Yeah.
But,
These are the same idiots that have also come up with the term cottage core and Barbie core from hardcore.
What the fuck is cottage core?
Oh, cottage core is when you do all that rustic shit and you try to make your house look like a rustic cottage.
We
And
call that
ever
being
since
poor.
Well, now that the Barbie movie has come out, there's Barbie core, and that's you're making your house Pepto-Bismol pink, and you're doing everything like Barbie.
People were doing that anyway. You know, they were just called fans. Like, the fuck?
Like, cyberpunk is edgy as fuck. That is dystopian as hell. Steampunk, if you're going back to the Jules Verne era, yeah, that makes sense. I don't like what steampunk
You know what?
is now. It's not edgy.
No,
Steampunk is
now
putting a
is not
gear on.
wrong. Steampunk-
Steampunk now is putting a gear on a top hat.
Right. Steampunk is now
Exactly.
just dandyism. That is all it fucking is. The
It's
original
goth but brown.
the original steampunk was gritty. It was dark. It was that factories were belching out coal smoke everywhere, so there was no sun.
People
was
were
the
losing their
Industrial
humanity.
Revolution.
Yeah. People were losing their humanity to mechanization.
Mm-hmm.
A perfect steampunk movie is Metropolis.
Yeah, I haven't seen that in years. I can't
No,
remember it anymore.
no. I would stick with the what we saw in the Difference Engine
Yeah.
Difference Engine?
by William Gibson and Bruce Sterling, and it is a world in which Babbage's machine worked, and huge chunks of London are now using acreage of gears as memory, and all these giant factories are constantly running to keep the computers running, and the streets are like fucked up and polluted, and there are like muggers everywhere, and
There's
Jack-
no day.
Jack the Ripper's loose, and
Oh my gosh, I need to read that.
It's
I didn't even know that
grimy.
existed.
it's grimy, it's ugly, it's you don't have whimsical sky pirates.
No. No dirigibles in this.
Yeah,
and I
that's
swear-
just fantasy.
Remember, boys and girls, a pirate never takes other people's stuff without permission.
Oh dear fucking god.
Disney actually put that out.
What?
What?
I kid you not.
I know
Oh,
you're
God.
not kidding. I know you're not.
Yep, it was a big deal. Remember that a pirate never takes other people's things without their permission. I don't think you know the definition of pirate there, champ.
No, they live in the land of please don't sue us for using our movie as an excuse for stealing from people.
Oh man. Oops.
My
Yeah,
god.
You found it, didn't you?
No, it's just
Oh.
you talking about it. It's just so fucking stupid.
And yeah, it was for a kid's show, Jake and the Neverland Pirates. But at the same time, I don't think you know what pirate means.
It's that whole sanitization thing again.
Yeah.
For a kid's show, because maybe Kat will remember Peter Pan and the Pirates, where Tim Curry was the voice of Captain Hook.
Oh, I really remember that show. That show was great.
Yeah.
That show
Yeah.
hammered home to me that mermaids are fucking murderous.
Yes.
You know, that was the first time I ran into the problem where I legitimately thought they were going to kill a major character. As
But
a kid.
that show was kind of scary.
Yeah, it was. It was great.
And Tim Curry was a freaky Captain Hook. I mean, like, we're talking when you know how Tim Curry knows how to, well, he did know how to tap into his sadistic side. He did it very well. Like Captain Hook, it wasn't the bumbling Captain Hook from the Disney movies. Oh no, this was Captain Hook from the books. This was like Barbary pirate Captain Hook.
You've never seen Tim Curry unless you've seen him on Criminal Minds.
I couldn't watch that episode. Fuck.
Oh, it was
I
a
had to
two
walk
episode. It was a
away.
two-part. It was a two-part episode, and his character's smoking fucking crack.
And he's also a kidnapper and a serial rapist. I had to stop watching.
Serial killer. And serial killer.
They actually said it was the most disturbing portrayal on that show ever. And they were surprised he didn't win an Emmy for it.
That was such a good 2 episode. That was Criminal Minds. I thought was underrated. I actually liked it. I didn't like it when they brought in strong female character who was better than everybody. But thankfully, she only lasted half a season before they booted her. You know, I always liked it as Hotch was a poorly programmed android. Not for real, but if you watch it, you know, thinking that he's a poorly programmed FBI android, the show makes a lot more sense.
Is that the actor that played him? Was that the guy from Dharma and Greg?
I think so. The tall guy?
Yeah. There was the one guy that played Inigo Montoya, and he was in it for a couple of seasons, but then they said that he didn't like the violence.
Yeah.
So he left the show. It's like, you're on a show called Criminal Minds, and you're hunting down serial killers. How did you not know there was going to be, like, how? Some actors blow my mind.
Yeah.
With their absolute stupidity. Though it shouldn't blow my mind because they all seem like they're fucking retarded.
Okay, I'm trying to understand the statement by Undead Quinn. It says, and the core scene are trendy take for Zoomers and millennials for
TikTok.
TikToker era.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, the fill in the blank core is just trendy shit for Zoomer TikTokers.
Okay, so I want to take a few steps back. You were talking about cyberpunk, Janelle.
No, I was just saying, like, the punk on cyberpunk, it really was edgy as fuck because that was a horrible dystopian world.
Well, I'm going to disagree with you there.
Okay.
Because everyone gets that fucking wrong. Everybody. I'm sorry. Cyberpunk is not inherently dystopian. A lot of them are set in dystopian futures, but a lot of them are just anarchy or culture run amok, but it's not necessarily dystopian.
Well, when I talk about dystopian, I talk about, like, there's been nuclear wars and the environment's fucked.
But, you know, you don't have necessarily the 1984 Brave New World type shit going on.
Oh, no, that's not what I meant by that at all. That's not what I meant. I'm thinking more like Philip K. Dick, Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep type of dystopia.
The thing that people need to remember about cyberpunk is it wasn't all about depressing doom and gloom failure.
No.
These people were the rebels that actually push back or game the system or rise above it. They are not pedestrians that are just going to get run over on the information superhighway.
I'm going to say something.
Motherfuckers that are going to grab the wheel and do what they want.
I'm going to say something that is extremely controversial.
Yeah.
Shadowrun 2nd edition, when you include all of its source books and world building books, is more dystopian than Cyberpunk 2077.
I will actually agree with that.
You know what? I didn't get into the second Shadowrun. I'm only familiar with the first edition.
But it was still dystopian as fuck.
But I'm very familiar with the original Cyberpunk 2020 setting because I know the source material.
Right.
And there was a book by Walter John Williams called Hardwired. Great book, by the way.
I think I read that.
The game company basically wanted to make that a game, but didn't want to get the rights. So they just called it Cyberpunk. And basically they took his setting, took the elements they liked from Neuromancer and William Gibson's world and crammed them together. That's it.
Yeah. Mike Pondsmith
did?
What? He did. Mike Pondsmith did a lot of good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not criticizing it, but
but at the same time, Shadowrun is so has got the dystopia down because they talk about how most people don't realize they're mind controlled, and one of the runners is talking about how her boyfriend can't perform sexually unless he can see the sneakers logo. So she had to put it above her bed because he'd gotten hit with subliminal advertising when he was hopped up on street drug with performance enhancers, and it fucked up his brain. And like so many other people, he couldn't perform sexually without the company logo visible.
Shit.
Think about how dystopian that is.
Well, that must be where Sean Gordon Murphy got the idea in Tokyo Ghost, which is one of his independent cyberpunk stories.
I didn't like that book. The art was beautiful, but it was stupid woke.
Oh, no, it was stupid woke, but I was thinking about the scene where she's trying to have sex with her boyfriend, but he has to wear the gear where he's being bombarded by commercials constantly because he can't function.
He stole that.
Okay, yeah, I figured as soon
He
as
stole that
you
shit from
told that.
Shadowrun.
Yeah, okay.
There's a scene in Shadowrun where the cop gets tired of the guy, the Lone Star guy gets tired of the guy at the edge of the bridge fucking whining about his life, so he just walks over and pushes him. Because the paperwork's easier and they're not going to be there all night.
Well,
Wait,
I
you
mean,
don't have a Lone Star contract or a dock walking contract? No. Shove. Goodbye. I mean, that's dystopia right there.
Yeah.
just hearing you guys talk about Shadowrun really makes me
Yeah.
think of the movie Bright.
Yes, and everybody was like, "Oh, it has elves. How cyberpunk can it be?" Are you kidding? Elves are the most racial supremacist, racist motherfuckers out there.
Okay, did they get rid of the stupid allergies?
I like the allergies. I like the allergies from first and second edition, but to answer your question, yes. They got rid of the allergies so that elves have no penalty and they can be superior to everybody.
It just kind of seems silly that you would have like a plastic allergy because you were an elf.
Plastic? That was
In the original, there was like,
you could accidentally roll and get plastic allergy. Yeah.
It's like, well, okay, how are you going to survive in this setting?
You're not. You're going to have to put that character aside, or you become a street shaman. You become a shaman. But yeah, I mean that thing was so fucking dystopic, and everybody was like, "No, it can't be because it has elves and magic." Well, the corporation is using magic on you to make you buy their shit when you go to the mall. I mean, I never saw it in Cyberpunk, but I sure as fuck saw it in Shadowrun, where they were fucking hiring poor metahumans and poor humans who were pregnant in order to experiment on the fetus.
No, they did that in Mass Effect as well. That's how Jack was made.
Well, people's idea of dystopia now is being told no.
Yeah.
Sure.
In Cyberpunk 2020, where it was heading, is you've got to imagine that everything outside the cities, okay, there's the cities, then there's the suburbs, and then everything else is Road Warrior.
Yeah.
And it's city states. And each city state has its own vibe, but inside the city states, it's more like Neuromancer or Hardware, the movie, if you've seen that.
Fucking love that movie.
And where it goes is there's I think a 5-book gaming supplement. There's 5 supplements, and it's the corporate wars, and each phase is a year of just like 5 major corporations all just decide to go at it, and you're there in the middle.
Oh shit, fuck that.
And so either you're just a street urchin or a nomad or somebody just trying to survive the war, or you're a runner and you're basically a mercenary for one of these factions doing jobs.
I quit doing Cyberpunk when they did the nanophage.
That was stupid.
That was
Cyber Generation.
Mm-hmm.
That actually wasn't done by Pondsmith.
No.
Okay, explain what the nanophage is, because I've never heard of that.
It was a much cutesier, friendly version of Cyberpunk where the youth were going to save the environment, and the nanophage disease came by and gave them all superpowers.
Oh my god. Just stop. Okay, that's yeah. Wow. That
was a product of the 90s.
About Cyberpunk without telling me. Oh my fuck.
That was a product of the 90s.
Yeah, the guy that created it wanted to fuck my wife, so screw him. Remember that?
Is this it?
Gen Con?
Gen Con?
You remember that guy that kept saying that he wanted you to draw pictures for his book?
Oh,
and he wouldn't leave you alone, and he even called you a few times?
Is that who that was?
Yes!
Oh.
Fuck that guy. He was creepy.
Honest, I was having like the worst day on the planet.
I know.
So...
Oh, you tuned to that? He came back to the booth like 4 fucking times.
Yeah.
And he followed you around.
Yeah, I had the fucking day. I was completely oblivious.
And then he emailed you saying that he had work for you.
I'll bet he did. With his penis. You could work with his penis.
What I kind of made him go away was, I'm like, well, you say you love my work. What specific piece? Because I didn't have any of my artwork online. and that he kind of went away from that.
You know what? Actually, I've got a perfect example of what the cities were like in Cyberpunk 2020.
Yeah.
Akira.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is exactly what it was like in 2020.
I was going to say, I have the Cyberpunk 2020 source book. I love that book.
Yeah. So
And,
you
thought it
imagine
was-
the cities
came
are
out.
like Akira, and outside the cities are Road Warrior.
Yeah.
And the rich people live in space or in Europe, because in this fantasy future, the EU is successful.
It's fantasy.
It's a fantasy.
Well, I was
Mike got that
gonna
one
say-
wrong.
I thought, isn't Mike Pondsmith a Marxist?
Wait,
No,
Wait,
I don't think
wasn't
so.
your? I thought Europe was a bombed out shithole, or was that Shadowrun? Because
That
there
was
was like a
Shadowrun.
25-year war that ended with stealth fighters wiping out the command and control sectors of
That
both
must
sides.
have been Shadowrun, because Europe became kind of like this Disneyland safe.
Oh no, okay, yeah, Shadowrun. Europe was city states and anarchy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Shadowrun. Europe was a shithole.
No, I don't think Pondsmith was Marxist at all. He was ex-military, and he was very anti-woke.
Yeah,
You knew him somewhat, didn't you?
a
Well-
little bit. I talked to him a little bit, like 20, 30 years ago. He was pretty cool.
And I know that he and Project Red had some disagreements.
Yes, they did. Lots of disagreements.
Wasn't that one of the reasons that 2077 took so long to come out?
Yes.
Yeah. By the
And
way,
not only that, they dropped the game. When they dropped the game, it didn't look anything like it was supposed
No.
to.
if you
His big
read-
thing was he didn't want Keanu Reeves to take center stage the way he did.
if you
'Cause-
read the backstory, there was a backstory of where America went wrong in the 2020 universe,
Yes.
Cyberpunk, and it was called or it was Home of the Brave, right?
Mhm.
And in it, you read it, America's decline starts with everyone going woke.
That's
the-
right, because isn't that what the Voodoo Boys are? They're a bunch of white boys that try to be
And-
Rastafarians.
And
Yeah.
the reason what he based it on was he was living in Berkeley.
That must be why I thought he was woke, because he was in Berkeley at the time frame.
That's like
When-
I used to talk to Nigel Finley sometimes on the phone and sometimes via correspondence, and he was pretty cool too. It's funny. A lot of people think that either Shadowrun copied Cyberpunk or Cyberpunk copied Shadowrun, but it was either Finley called Pondsmith or Pondley called Finley, and it was like, "Hey, I got this great idea I've been working on, and I'll send you the information. You want to collaborate on this shit?" And the other one went, "Oh fuck, I've been working on this one." And so they actually shared ideas, and in some of the places they took ideas from the other person that wouldn't fit in their setting.
Really?
Yeah, it was actually parallel development up to a point that neither one of them knew what the other one was doing, and they'd pretty much, gotten the majority of it down, and then was like, "Hey, we've worked together before. Do you want to work on this with me?" And oh fuck, this looks a lot like this is pretty close to my product, except my product has the return of magic and monsters, and your product has the rise of mega corporations. And so that's why when a lot of people say, "Oh, they copied each other," well, yes, but no. They copied each other over phone calls and letters because it was like, "Hey, I had this great idea, but I can't use it. Maybe you can." Back in the times when RPG companies talk to each other.
Buddy Smith, Silverhand in 2020 actually was blonde hair and blue eyed.
Yes,
You look
he
like Bon
was.
Jovi or Kip Winger.
Yeah.
And in
He
the original,
was,
original one, he took a razorfish punch to the gut.
Yeah.
I know that without even looking at the book. He came out of the bar, and the guy asked him if he had a cigarette, and when he reached for it, the guy punched him in the gut with a fistful of razors. Because he was actually AWOL. He was a deserter.
Yeah.
But they
I-
wanted Keanu Reeves, which Keanu Reeves, did a good job on it. I mean, he played Keanu Reeves, which I'm fine with. I don't expect Keanu Reeves to have a great range of emotion because he literally doesn't.
Well, he played John Wick.
Yeah.
He played John Wick in the cyberpunk world. And I gotta say, I enjoyed the fact that Silverhand, they at least kept him not a villain, but a dick.
I like that they made him
Look
a
out for
dick.
himself.
He was just a dick, and that was refreshing. I mean, that was honestly refreshing because, you know, he's one of Mike Pondsmith's, you know, big characters. And they left him a dick, and they left Adam Smasher a dick.
Don't you look like a nice piece of fuck meat?
Yeah.
The girl almost shits her pants.
Well, you saw him. Holy shit.
Oh, yeah. The first time I saw Adam Smasher in the game, I was like, fuck me.
I was like,
wow.
tell me I don't have to fight this robot motherfucker. Because I do not want to end this with me having to blow a robot.
Oh, my God. Well, you know, kind of takes me off about 2077. Where was Morgan Blackhand?
That was Pondsmith's character.
Yeah, he wouldn't allow it to be used.
So that's what the who was it that said that he got cut from the game?
Somebody in the chat did, yeah.
Oh, dude, that sucks because I went on to the forums and stuff because I didn't know too much about Cyberpunk 2077 until I got the game, and then I went and bought the source books. And everybody was talking about Morgan Blackhand and how amazing he was. And then when I read 2020, I was like, this guy's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah.
What's funny I loved about Cyberpunk is they jumped up and down and said you couldn't do a third-person camera. And modders had a third-person camera within 2 weeks.
Modders had a lot of that game fixed within 2 weeks.
I downloaded the better body and the better wardrobes and the third-person camera. It was fucking great. Of course, my chick's running around with a fat ass, and she'd get on that motorcycle and just bounce up and down, right down the motorcycle with her ass boing, boing, boing. Wearing a fucking thong. Nothing like running into combat wearing a thong and a smile. And boots. Don't want to
I
hurt her
gotta
feet.
say, it was very interesting playing 2077 for the first time when I could choose my own dick size.
Yeah.
Okay, I gotta break in. Trenton Arnie is in the chat now, so I gotta bring this up. Trenton, thank you for the UFO photos. I looked at them and in Photoshop and adjusted the levels and did some magnification. What you found is very interesting. I know that the quality of your phone could only do so much, but yeah, that is an interesting photo you sent me. Trenton lives not far from where Travis Walton was supposedly abducted.
Oh, shit.
And to this day, they still see the flying Vs passing over every once in a while.
And they're not stealth bombers? They're not the stealth bombers?
No, like the Phoenix Lights.
Oh, okay.
Those, you remember that when Phoenix Lights happened?
Yeah.
Apparently that has been going on for quite some time before the Phoenix Lights even happened. But Trenton photographed something the other night, and it's not evidence of anything. It's a dot. But when I messed around with it in Photoshop, it clearly was not a star or an aircraft. So, I don't know. It was interesting.
I didn't realize he lived so close to where the fire in the sky incident happened.
So I have to be careful because hearing all this stuff makes me want to go in and write, and I can't write for another 30 to 60 days. I'm not going to make it.
You're determined to try to prove all of us wrong, huh?
Yeah, I am. But I don't think I'm going to make it.
Told you I want to do a short story with you sometime.
Yeah, you know what? Write something up, and send it to me, and we'll work back and forth on it. Because holy shit, I'm fucking dying over here. Because I've already got certain scenes already fleshed out. When the bag opens up, and of course the Manta, their first reaction is, "Ow, my big giant head!" Because it's going to reverberate across the galaxy. Let the universe shake with the return of punished Terra Soul. Whoops.
Ooh.
My big giant head. Because, they're psychic.
Okay, one other thing, since we've got 21 people listening, for the love of God, people, fucking review Boobs of Steel.
Be nice.
Okay, say it nice and sexy since you're my wife.
Okay.
Do it better than me.
Do it better than
Oh my God, the dog's farting. Somebody save me.
That's not what was expecting.
everyone. See, the dog farted because no one's reviewing this book. And so we don't want to stink up RALT'S house. So please go review Boobs of Steel. Go review Behold Humanity. Go check out both of these books. And say something nice, or not even nice. Say something in the comments, because the algorithms like interactions, just like we like interacting with you.
Well, yeah, until I hit 25 reviews, the algorithms don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
How many
And right
reviews
now-
do you have already?
We've got 7 reviews and 8 stars.
Okay.
And for those who have done it, thank you.
Yes, the huge thank you for the people who have actually reviewed it. Really, no, because seriously, a review is actually even better than a purchase in a lot of ways, because the review, I know you got to buy the book to make the review, but the review tells Amazon people are interested in the book, and these are the kinds of people to show the book to. So, anyway, that's enough of me shilling and insisting, please, you review my book.
That is a word from our sponsor for this evening.
Yes.
Now, say it orgasmically. Review the book.
No.
No. No.
Do it.
Get me drunk.
Get you drunk. Do it seductively.
You're putting her on the spot.
Well, when it's just the two of us, I can do it. But there's an audience. There's a live audience now, and so it's difficult.
Because she's a pure, demure woman who believes in discretion and stuff.
And stuff.
I don't know, man. You're
That's
talking
right,
to a midget.
everyone. You know what to do. Go log into Amazon. Check out Boobs of Steel. Read it. Thumb through it. Even lick your fingers while you're doing it. And then give us a review. Oh, you know you want to. It is just so luscious hitting that send button. There we go.
See, that was sexy, sort of.
I was expecting a 1-900 number next. Sorry. It just reminded me. It reminded me of those 2 a.m. 1-900 commercials.
Oh God, I remember those.
I remember those.
You know what? I will say one thing though. I will say one thing that I will always be grateful to the Taliban and Al Qaeda for. The attack on the World Trade Center got rid of all those fucking horoscope people, and all the fortune tellers that were on late night TV.
Yeah,
Oh
Miss
my God,
Cleo
was it
kind of
Aunt
disappeared
Cleo?
overnight, didn't she?
Yeah, all of them just disappeared overnight. I wonder why.
It's called now for your free reading, man.
Yeah. It was like, oh my God. She scared me. It sucks.
Miss
I'd be up
Cleo?
at I'd be up at 2 a.m. and her weird fucking voice would come on and they'd show the weird deformed woman with the crystal ball. And I was like, what the fuck? I used to have to pay a nickel to see somebody like that.
Oh my God.
Do you remember the channel that told you what was on all the other channels?
Yes. Yes.
She was on that like 24/7.
I know.
It's just
In the upper right. In the window in the upper right.
Window
Sorry.
in the upper right?
Yeah, it was she was in the window on the upper right of the screen.
Oh, yes. Well, my dad's TV wasn't that sophisticated, but I just run it because I was baffled. I was trying to figure out if I was actually watching a recording or her live show was on the channel that told you where all the other channels were. Okay.
Is that Trenton's picture?
Yeah.
Damn.
Now, this is what I thought. Now, watch. Ralts will look at it and say, oh, I know what that is, and debunk it. But
Come on, puppies. Let's go
I
inside.
thought this was the interesting part.
Come on, fart machine.
So you see it there, but if you blow out the levels,
I gave him wet dog food. Oh my God. Hang on.
so I thought that was interesting. I don't know what that means, but I thought it was interesting that once you adjusted the levels, there is a ring around it.
Huh. No idea what it is.
Yeah. I mean, again, this is what the camera saw, but when you up the level.
You get that halo.
So
Weird.
yeah, weird.
Weird.
Woo.
Why do I see pirates with rapiers? That's the worst sword. What? I have no idea what he's talking about.
I do not know either.
Maybe because we were talking about pirates earlier.
Yeah.
So wanting to, why do pirates have rapiers?
Theater companies?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because theater companies were all taught defense.
Because England.
You know what the best fencing scene in a movie I've ever seen? Like, really, truly? The
Yeah.
Addams Family. When
Yeah.
Wednesday and Pugsley butcher each other on stage. And soak the fucking crowd.
That was good.
That is the
Weren't they doing Hamlet?
I don't know what they were
I
doing.
can't remember. I thought they were pirates.
Maybe. I don't remember.
Because she cuts off his arm and then he slits her throat. And like 7 rows back is just covered in fake blood.
Oh, and for anybody thinking of buying the Texas Chainsaw Massacre game that comes out this week, the same company that's producing that is the one that took everybody's money for the Friday the 13th game and then abandoned it.
Oh, fuck.
Ooh, no, thank you.
No, screw that.
And it will not be a single player game. It will only be multiplayer until they get around to releasing some shitty bots. So don't waste your money because Gun Media is fucking terrible. Gun Media did this thing. What really fucked up is Gun Media did this thing where some chick streamers were following around this guy saying, if you don't let our friend who's playing Jason kill you, we're going to report you for sexual harassment. He was like, go fuck yourself. And you're not supposed to be, as campers, you're not supposed to be working with Jason. And they reported him and he showed the evidence that because he had been streaming it and they fucking banned him from the game.
Oh, God.
God.
All because they wanted titty streamers to touch them.
Wow.
Tits ain't worth it, you know?
Yeah. Which really ruined, and then the game just kept getting worse and worse.
Now, RALT'S, do you play Dead by Daylight?
No, I don't,
Okay.
because a lot of the because I got it really late, and I'd be trying to play and learn how to do it, and I get booted from the games and shit because I didn't know what was going on. And I'm trying to fucking learn to play because they don't play the game like, they play it differently. And if you don't have certain cards and shit like that, they don't want you playing on their team. And it's like, how the hell am I supposed to be good enough to play this game with you? Well, that's not our problem.
Wow. So they don't even try to
God.
help new players.
No.
Gotcha.
Oh, fuck that. Totally fuck that.
Hey guys, I'm running out of steam, and
Okay.
I've had to switch back to school schedule.
And
So
we've been on for about 2 hours now, so.
oh, okay. That
Okay,
wait,
cool.
Buddy, wait, real quick before we go. Buddy Smith said, didn't they do the Killer Clown from Outer Space game? Please don't tell me that's the same company that did the game where they took the money and ran.
Probably. Let me see. Killer
Uh,
Clowns. Let's
I was
see.
looking forward to that game,
Killer
too.
Clowns from Outer Space game. Who was supposed to make it? Oops. Nope. Oh, wow. You can apparently still sign up for the beta if you go to its official site. Let's see. Oh, Terravision Games. So, no, it wasn't. But, yeah.
And I agree with you, Spartan Cat. Warframe has always been a good community, and they're happy to help out new players. So, at least that's been my experience. But okay.
Okay.
Again, thank you, everyone. Check out Behold Humanity. Check out Boobs of Steel. Review all the books you read. And thank you, everyone, for joining us.
Yep.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Don't step on any dicks.